If you happen to be a Gen Xer or just an animation nerd with impeccable taste, you might remember a little syndicated after-school oddity called Star Blazers. For many of us, it wasn't just another cartoon wedge between homework and dinner. It was a revelation, something different, something serious. But if the name doesn't ring a bell, allow me to give you a proper retrospective. You see, back in 1979, Star Wars fever had a stranglehold on pop culture. Anything with a spaceship was fair game, and the entertainment industry scrambled to launch anything remotely space adjacent. We got Battlestar Galactica. We got Battle of the Planets, the latter being a heavily altered American version of Japan's Gotcha Man, lovingly, or not so lovingly, sanded down by Sandy Frank. And when I say sanded down, I mean neutered. Battle of the Planets had gorgeous designs, cool action, and solid voice acting, but the edits were downright insulting. Violence, cut. Death, cut. Mature themes, eliminated, courtesy of the FCC standards and practices. And kids could even tell when 7 their discount R2-D2 narrator was straight up lying to their faces.
But we have the cassette and the 2 astronauts and the location of the bases Zoltar was forced to abandon.
No, those astronauts weren't rescued. No, those civilians didn't escape safely. They were vaporized in the original series. Zark stopped gaslighting. Enter Star Blazers, the Renegade, the Rule Breaker, the show that dared to treat kids like they had a brain. Based on the Japanese series space battleship Yamato, Star Blazers kept far more of its adult content intact. Pathos, death, trauma, political themes, and even the occasional blink and you miss it nudity. And somehow, Classic Television and Hasbro, who handled the dub and edits, who syndicated the show, managed to slip it all past the censors. And if those names sound familiar, congrats, you grew up in the 80s. Classic Television were also the forces behind G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero, and the Transformers years later. Star Blazers walked so Duke, Optimus Prime, and Cobra Commander could run. Now you know, and knowing is half the battle. Star Blazers premiered September 17, 1979. Its story is set in the year 2199, where the Earth is dying under relentless radioactive planet bombs from a hostile alien empire known as the Gamilons. Humanity survives only by retreating to underground cities buried 5,000 feet below the poisoned surface. With their population dwindling, resources exhausted, and hope near extinction, a lifeline arrives from across the galaxy. Queen Starship Iscandar offers humanity a cure, the Cosmo DNA. The catch? Iscandar lies more than 140,000 light years away. Using the technology Starship provides, Earth engineers develop the wave motion engine and retrofit the long-buried World War II battleship Yamato into a star-spanning vessel, the Argo. Armed with its revolutionary drive and the devastating wave motion gun, the Star Force, led by Captain Avatar and young officer Derek Wildstar, sets off on a desperate year-long mission to save humanity. But this journey is no pleasure cruise. The Gamilons, under the charismatic and ruthless leader Deathlock, attack at every opportunity. Every battle costs precious time. Every delay brings Earth closer to annihilation. Can the Argo reach Iscandar and return before human civilization collapses entirely? That tension kept kids glued to the television screen every afternoon. And that's what made Star Blazers revolutionary. Continuity. No months of the week, no reset button, no everything's back to normal endings. This was a straight-shot space opera with emotional stakes, serialized drama, character arcs, moral dilemmas, and genuine tragedy. Even its opening theme hit differently, a triumphant militaristic anthem underscored by imagery of the Argo unleashing hell on enemy ships. Say what you will, once that theme hit, you were in. In many ways, Star Blazers brought space opera storytelling into American living rooms long before most networks even knew what to do with the genre. And yes, this is where things get interesting. Fans often debate whether Star Wars influenced Yamato or vice versa. While Star Blazers debuted in the US in 1979, the original Yamato anime aired in 1974. 3 full years before Star Wars. And if you're keeping score, Lucasfilm shares more than just a few parallels. Angular spaceships, planet-killing superweapons, heroic dogfights in deep space, the death of a wise mentor, a familiar-looking droid, IQ-9, anyone? Grand sweeping operatic storytelling. Make of that what you will. Let's just say influence travels both ways. Yamato also beat James Cameron to the punch with something people rarely acknowledge: Space Marines. Yep, Yamato had them long before aliens made them cool. But Star Blazers wasn't just ahead of its time, it paved the way for how Japanese anime could be adapted responsibly for Western audiences, without sacrificing story elements, without infantilizing the viewer, without gutting what made the original compelling. Its legacy can be seen in Robotech, another series that embraced serialized storytelling for kids. Although Star Blazers aired just 3 seasons in the United States, that was enough. It left an indelible mark on animation, inspired future creators, and helped shape the evolution of American sci-fi television. It was more than a cartoon, it was more than a moment. It was a milestone, a space opera that trusted the intelligence of its young audience. And for many of us growing up in the late 70s and early 80s, Star Blazers was the first show that proved animated storytelling could be more than fun. It could be epic.